Good win. You know, ultimately found a way to win at the end, made it close at the end as well.
It was close, maybe closer than it needed to be this week for Tennessee. Welcome into the Tennessee Taperoom alongside Elijah Nixon, Wes Rucker here, talking about another Tennessee win, another Tennessee game in the SEC that came right down to the very end. This one looked like Tennessee was going to pull away from Arkansas a little bit. Yeah. Then Arkansas kind of pulled it back in a little bit. But Tennessee ends up with a 34-31 win over the Razorbacks. Elijah, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Like you just said, I thought it was going to be a kind of an easy win for Tennessee after that second half. You know, they're coming out scoring 24 from the second quarter on unanswered points. But then after that, Arkansas just started to claw back. And again, like they said, it's the SEC. You're going to expect a dogfight each and every week. So.
Yeah, I mean, to me, on the balance of play, it looked about fair. It got where it needed to get at the end. I think the performance for Tennessee was maybe just a little bit better than the performance from Arkansas, and that was enough to win the game. But there were some good things to talk about, also some things that weren't as good. Let's start with something good. Tennessee's offense, with only, 5 yards on one catch from Chris Brazzell. Some other guys stepped up and had big plays. Here's Miles Kitson talking about that.
I think that it says that we got a lot of really good players on this team. You know, you can't always rely on one guy. You know, if certain teams are going to double cover somebody or if they're going to show more attention to somebody, then, man, somebody else has to step up. You know, Chris is going to keep doing him. You know, Braylon stepped up and had a really good night tonight. And, you know, we have a lot of good players on offense.
They do have quite a number of good players on offense. Braylon Staley, Elijah stepped up with a big game. Deshaun Bishop stepped up with a big game. Both of them got a little dinged up there late in the game, but we think they're okay. You know, you never quite know with the Josh Heupel injury report if we're being honest here amongst us adults.
You got to wait till Wednesday, Wes. You got to wait till Wednesday.
Then you got to wait till Thursday, then you got to wait till Friday, then you got to wait till Saturday. Basically, it's just wait until there's video evidence. That's basically what it comes down to. But regardless, Tennessee, Kitzelman had some big catches too. Really over the shoulder first quarter, one of the best catches of his career, I think, in Tennessee. So Brazzell double covered, bracketed a little bit, more attention to him, which you would expect. Some other guys stepped up and really made plays as a result.
And a lot of people talking about, Braylon Staley, worst game against Mississippi State, and, you know, because he dropped a couple passes. Had 100. You know, you understand? Joey Aguilar had 133 yards passing in the first half. 100 of them was coming from Braylon Staley. Yeah. He looked phenomenal out there, you know, just capitalizing off what the defense was giving him because, like you said, they bracket to Chris Brazzell. Chris Brazzell's going to see that throughout the rest of the year. Alabama, I'm expecting to see that. He's going to see that against Oklahoma. He's going to see that against Kentucky. He's going to see that a lot. So, again, how do you capitalize off of that? You got to get the other guys the football, and that's what Joey Aguilar was doing yesterday.
And I think Aguilar had one of his more impressive games for Tennessee just in terms of the management of things. And so what I mean by that is we've talked about this since the summer, right? As soon as Joey Aguilar came to Tennessee, we said, listen, here's what you need to know about this guy. He's kind of Leroy Jenkins is the thing, right? Like, you're going to get a few throws a game that you're like, oh, no, what are you doing? That's a really bad idea. And then you're going to get a bunch of dots, and then that's just how it's kind of going to be because he trusts his guys to go make plays. But you're usually going to get 2, maybe 3 throws in a game where you go, oh, that's a really bad idea. Right. I only counted one of them in this game that was a really, really bad idea, and it wasn't picked. And he made some big plays with his legs, some accurate balls downfield when Tennessee needed him. I thought he played a really good game in terms of managing things.
And everybody was nervous because Arkansas had a couple of new defensive guys, defensive coordinators, and defensive play callers, and they were expecting this defense to look a little different, not knowing what to expect, honestly. And Tennessee still came out and did their thing, especially in the second half. What they said, like I said, scored 17 unanswered points against what we would have said is the unknown. And then once they got used to it, it was up and running with the offense.
Not quite a perfect game from the offense. There was a couple 3-and-outs after 4 turnovers, and 2 of them you respond to with 3-and-outs. Some things about offense that need to get cleaned up. Penalties, we'll talk about that here in a bit, certainly. But for the defense, it was a really, really erratic game. And here's Josh Josephs talking about that.
I don't feel like we played up to a standard we should be playing at. So I don't really like seeing that regardless of whatever turnovers we have or regardless of how many times we score on defense. I don't like giving up yards, and I don't like seeing that as a defense because I know that as a defense we're way better than that.
You know, you can always count on Josh Josephs to come out there and tell you what he thinks. You never have to wonder what he's thinking. You just got to wait for him to talk. He'll tell you. And I think he's spot on there because when you look at the numbers, this game was a reflection of the season in a lot of ways. A lot of sacks, a lot of havoc in the backfield, a lot of turnovers forced. Also, way too many third down conversions, fourth down conversions, some third and longs that they gave up. A lot of run fit stuff that didn't look good up front. They got some stuff to clean up there. They're making big plays, but they're also giving up plays.
I think defensively is where the continuity is going to come in the second half of the season, only because they're getting guys back. Hobbs just played his first game back. Moy is his second game back, I want to say. So it's just right now they got to figure out how they can fit all in. And as you can see at spurts, their rush looks great. Then that spurts, their rush don't look good at all. So it's like, once they find out the continuity of that after playing like a couple of weeks, I think we could talk about this as a great defensive line together.
Yeah, it's such an interesting thing because you can't really, it's hard to get a measure on what this defense is because the highs are here and the lows are down here, and it's just hard to kind of get a feeling for that. So it kind of is what it is, but they definitely have some things to straighten out there. However, one thing that also needs to be straightened out, maybe not just with Tennessee, but with the SEC office, is some officiating things, not just for Tennessee, but around the league. But here's Josh Heupel talking about Tennessee's penalty situation on Saturday.
10-1 penalty differential. You're changing the way the game's played too. So I guess we got to play a lot smarter. Yeah, I can't speak to the explanation that I got. Our fans can watch it and judge for themselves what they thought.
We'll sit here and judge what we thought about it, Elijah. I think my issue when going back and watching some of this was that there's things that you think during the game, and sometimes you watch the game and then you think something different. It didn't change. Tennessee's penalties, I would say at least 8 or 9 of those 10 penalties, those are legitimate penalties. Tennessee gets penalized too often. It has throughout Heupel's tenure. They play fast. They make big plays, but they also have some mistakes. That I have no issue with. But Arkansas only getting flagged once. There was one that was wiped away. Tennessee declined, but just 2 flags thrown on Arkansas all day. The film did not reflect that. There were some really badly missed calls in that game.
I agree with you. I think that, but. I don't even want to get onto the officiating because I may get fined here. But I'm gonna say this.
Come with me, I'll talk about it.
I'm gonna say that they found a way to win after that lopsided flag penalty stuff. I think that with Tennessee doing that, I think that shows that you can stay and fight in any game, because if things are still not going your way, like we talked about 3 weeks ago, they can still pull out and win a football game.
And the good news for Tennessee is that Tennessee, despite all that, found a way to win the football game, whereas down there in Auburn, something even worse did not go that team's way. That changed that game. South Carolina, some issues in that game with LSU too. There's a lot of things around this league, and Sankey and those guys telling you, man, you got a problem, you got to fix it. We'll be right back here on the Tennessee Tape Room.